Thousands flock to the beach in England. Despite warnings, coronavirus cases will rise again if people abandon social distancing.
The Health Secretary says he has the power to close beaches after thousands of people descended on Bournemouth, ignoring social distancing.
We do have those powers, and if we see a spike in the number of cases, then we will take action.
We'll start with the Daily Mail. Pictures of packed beaches. We've been talking about it on the programme already, featuring most of the papers. The Daily Mail's headline is a quote from the Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, warning the public not to undo work on tackling the pandemic. This is after 500,000 people were reported to have visited beaches in Dorset yesterday.
Daily Telegraph has gone for a beach image, but one that pictures two people observing social distancing, not some of the pictures we saw earlier on. They're lying 2 metres apart. This is a beach in East Yorkshire. Its main story, though, says Boris Johnson is under pressure to remove the 14-day quarantine rule for travellers coming from the whole of Europe.
The Times is leading on a warning from England's Chief Medical Officer, Chris Whitty, that coronavirus will flare up again if people do not enjoy the warm weather responsibly.
Plastic waste from Britain being sent for recycling in Turkey. A BBC investigation finds plastic being dumped there instead and in some cases burned.
The European Commission has given approval for a €9 billion government bailout for Lufthansa. It will see the German state take a 20% stake in the business, but there are conditions like Lufthansa giving up some of its valuable takeoff and landing slots. Nearly 1.5 million Americans filed for unemployment benefits last week. That's the 14th straight week that the total has topped 1 million. Overall, more than 46 million people have lost their jobs since shutdown measures took hold in mid-March. Many of those have been in hospitality and service sectors. Now, Liverpool supporters are celebrating after the football club clinched their first English Premier League title in 30 years with a record 7 games to spare. Last season's champions, Manchester City, had to win against Chelsea to remain in contention, but they lost 2-1.
30 years of hurt come to an end as Liverpool are crowned Premier League champions.
We are live inside Anfield, one of the great sporting venues, as this club celebrates a glorious return to the top of the English game.
Merseyside police say it was unfortunate that thousands of fans defied advice to stay at home, instead celebrating on the streets. Also on the front page, another story we're covering this morning, of course, a photograph of Liverpool's fans celebrating.
And, of course, the whole of the front page, as you might imagine, the Liverpool Echo, dedicated to Liverpool's first Premier League win in 30 years. Liverpool sealed their first league title in 3 decades last night, all without even kicking a ball. Their success has been praised by both fans and rivals.
Manchester City, gracious in defeat, manager Pep Guardiola congratulated Liverpool, saying the win was well-deserved and that the team makes good champions.
Former Liverpool hero Fernando Torres said the victory was down to an unbelievable squad, magnificent manager, great staff, and that he was happy for the fans of the club.
Basketball star, superstar and Liverpool fan LeBron James showed his delight for the champions. Pretty obvious there. In contrast, former Manchester United player Rio Ferdinand said that he was going into social media hiding for a while. Oh. Well, where there are winners, there are losers.
Absolutely. Sally's going to be at Anfield for us throughout the morning this morning, embracing what is a fantastic day. 30 years is a long time to wait, and there has been so much praise. You know, I don't pretend to know my football, but listening to what people are saying about that Liverpool team now, they're saying it's sort of one of the best teams you'll ever see in club football.
And Jurgen Klopp, the manager, absolutely adored for many, many reasons.